David, just what are your emotions as the season comes to an end?
Crush for the guys in there. Just the effort they gave to get to this position, have the opportunity today, and then to have the start that we wanted, and then for it to go sideways so quickly. I mean, I thought we controlled the pace of the game early. It's easy to forget that now. But to be up 21-10, it felt like we just could not push that thing out. That felt like the score for 4 minutes. And that was our opportunity to really take control of the game. Once they got back into it, they kept bringing new people in, and they did overwhelm us. The turnovers were a huge issue in this game, obviously. And sometimes turnovers are – the number doesn't matter, but 16 steals, that's live ball turnovers. That's dunks. That's 37 points off your mistakes. So you're not going to win a playoff game like that. So I give them a lot of credit. They were the aggressor. That's how the whole series has been. Early, I thought we were, and we had control of the game, and then we lost it very quickly. Yeah, man, when you lose, it's crushing. And it's the last time you'll be in the room with those guys, and it's beyond that, you only get one of these. This is the one moment we had together to make this run. And they're all individual to themselves, and they're all so special. Anybody that's played sports understands that. So walking out of that locker room is, it's crushing, and it's going to take a while to get over that.
Coach, 3 of your 5 starters were dealing with something in the last 48 hours. Was that too much to overcome? And also, how close was Aaron not going to be able to play today?
Aaron Gordon is incredible. What he played with today, I don't know many people that would even attempt to go out there and run up and down. And he did it in a Game 7 against Oklahoma City on the road. That was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. So, yes, he was extremely close to not playing. I was surprised, that they said, no, he's a go, he's going to start. I knew there was a chance. But in the back of your mind, you're kind of planning, I don't think he's going to have it. Guy had 8 rebounds at the half. He almost had a double-double going up and down in that kind of pain. Shot the ball. The 1-3 in front of our bench looks so comfortable. Like it's just a testament to his toughness. Yeah, I can't sit here and say because we're beat up and this guy's sick that we lost. We got beat. And if we were that tired late, we certainly weren't tired early. So we had an opportunity to take control of that game. And we missed that opportunity at the end of the first quarter. And that run, to start the second, obviously at the end of the half, really put us in a tough spot.
Coach, you guys, kind of, at the end of your talk, in the locker room, just kind of dapping each other up. And, was that just out of respect of the run that you guys made? And can you put into words, kind of what you guys went through from, the house cleaning towards the end of the regular season up until this point?
Yeah, man, I think it's, groups, in team sports, you can fracture very quickly because there's a lot of different personalities in that room. And even though it's a team sport, there's individuals in that room too. And for them to take a look at each other and say, no, we have enough in here and we can galvanize this and we can make it work was incredible. And I told them in there, it's about the man next to you. That's what you do this for. You do it for the guy next to you because you want the opportunity to be a team thing. And these guys did it. And, I'll go back and kick myself. Game 4 and 5 of the series, those are just as crushing as tonight because we had legitimate opportunities to completely control the series, but we just didn't follow through with that. But yeah, it's a testament to the people in there. It really is. It's not about one person. It's about the whole group staying together, believing that they could make something happen through injuries, up and downs, new faces, new people, new jobs, delegation, all the narrative, all that stuff. It wasn't about that. It was about the people in that room all the way up to the end of this game. So extremely proud of that group.
Coach, recognizing the timing stinks, but not knowing when to see you again, how much do you want to be the one to continue coaching this team moving forward?
I don't think it's time for me to think about that. We just lost Game 7. Our season's over. Decision makers will make that decision. Obviously, blessed to have this opportunity to take the helm and lead this team. Something, obviously, if I'm not back next year, I'll obviously never forget this. It's been an incredible experience. And to have the buy-in from the guys was really special for me. And, what we did at the end of the season, like I've brought this up a few times, but everyone's going to remember these Game 7s and the playoff series and all that. I'm going to remember the last 3 games of the season because we showed up in Sacramento in a must-win. We did it. We did it with Memphis on a Friday night. We did it in Houston. 3 teams that were, vying for positions. So those were big-time games. For the guys that quickly to come together and give us this opportunity, very special to me. I'll never forget it. Something I think down the road when I'm older, this group will always remember this. It was about us in that room, like I said.
David, before the series, you kind of joked about OKC being a 72-win team at that moment. Regular season gap was 18 wins, but you guys had split with them going into this game in total. How close do you feel like you guys are to being at that sort of championship level with a team like this that won as many games as they did?
Yeah, I think, through the next season, whether I'm here or somebody else is, it's just about getting to the finish line healthier and not having to grind like we did through the Clippers series. And that's going to be a challenge. We, as these guys get older year by year, we have to maintenance them. And if you're going to play a young team like that has, unbelievable depth, very good coaching staff. Obviously, Mark does a great job. You have to have the freshest version of yourself. And that's part of the reason why I am so proud of these guys to get this to 7. We grinded through this. The Clippers series is the same way. Grind long enough to give yourself an opportunity. And today was the same thing. It went the exact opposite way as the Clipper game. But you can't win these games unless you get to them. So if we're going to get there, we're going to need people to improve, people coming back. We have to improve our depth. How do you do that? Well, I think you have to have player development this summer. We have to see guys take strides. And if they do that and we can find a longer rotation, I think it makes you better when you get to these moments, in April, May, hopefully June.
Coach, you talk about, obviously, this being one of the historic teams, of all time with their record and defensively how they present themselves. How would you say, when you assess this after 7-game series, just how, the team itself is put together, and how would you say that, from start to bottom of the lineup, how do they assess and, create a lot of, issues for you guys?
Yeah, it's a relentless defensive team. They seem like they're always fresh because they can rotate people in and out. Presents challenges. They can play small. They can play big. They can go any way they want to with their roster. And it makes it hard. And I actually thought our guys did a great job of kind of reacting on the fly in a lot of these games. And the 2 games that got away from us, it was turnovers, and they caused them. And when they have run-out dunks and you can't set your defense, all the impact that we have with our zone, all the things we were doing doesn't matter because now you're playing from behind. It's a team that can overwhelm you, man. It's a unique group. Obviously, when contracts come, these kind of things change where you can't keep all this depth and talent. But to their credit, the way they put the team together, to me, feels like a winning formula. It's not just talent. There's a lot of substance that comes in the game. Guys understand their roles. So, yeah, it was a challenge, obviously. Proud to get to see about the result today.
You mentioned them playing small, Caruso a lot on Joker Day. What impact do you think that adjustment had, and just Caruso in general, the fingerprints he had on this game?
Yeah, he was great. He fronted him. They brought multiple defenders over. It was a game they had to make 18 threes. I really mean it. They had everybody in the paint. We created really good shots. Shots didn't fall tonight. Sometimes when Nikola doesn't get an assist or score, the fact that he's got 3 people around him means somebody's open. And we just didn't have a night where guys made shots. And then I thought as shots didn't fall, guys started to turn down shots. And if you do that, you're driving the ball back into an historic defense. That leads to 16 steals, runouts, and a blowout. Alex did a great job. Like I said, I talk about substance. That's what he is. He's a player that the stat sheet doesn't matter. He impacts winning.
David, you kind of made reference to it, but how healthy was Jamal? Because we didn't even think to ask you in pregame, and you mentioned Aaron Gordon's hamstring and then a guy being sick. How effective was he? How healthy was he?
He was sick. There's no excuses. Jamal won't make excuses for it. He's been run down the last couple games, but he played well in Game 6. He found a way. You give them credit. They got into us. They pushed us off our spots. We played too high on the floor. I would try to help him out, trying to knock people off to get him free. I thought he had some good looks in the third quarter, didn't fall. And the same thing for Mike. Mike's going through it. But the bottom line is they were going through it yesterday, too. They were going through it in Game 6. So there's no excuses up here. We had a chance. We came in. We had a great start. We just didn't take advantage of that start. And obviously give OKC a ton of credit. They deserve this opportunity to go play Minnesota. That'll be a hell of a series.
Coach, when it comes to their bench play and shot making, how much of it was just the comfort of being home?
I think it matters. It just seems like over the course of time in the NBA playoffs, that is always the case, especially for young guys that are role players. I don't think it's the case for veteran, teams. But today, we have a lot of veterans. We didn't shoot the ball well. But yeah, you give them a lot of credit. And on the flip side, we're zoning and we're making the ball find people. And those people made enough shots, to really extend the game. And like I said, the turnovers were just a disaster for us. We just didn't take care of it. But yeah, there's a lot to think about right now. But yeah, congratulations, OKC, man. And I mean, like I said, that series is going to be great. I wish we were playing in it. I wish we were playing in Denver on Tuesday night. But best of luck to them. Thanks, guys.
Jamal, obviously frustrated with the result. What are some of the things that are going through your head as you think about this game, this series? What could have been, what was?
A lot, to be honest. I thought it was a very competitive series. It was really fun, to be honest, the way all 7 games. We just didn't bring our best tonight. I thought some turnovers, spacing, guys trying to, make the right play with each other, but it was 2 guys trying to do the same thing or, just on top of each other, which, they're such a good defensive team and they pack the paint. We got to allow each other to, allow each other to have space to do whatever the hell we're trying to do or create on offense. So I just thought that compounded. Crowd was into it. And, we just didn't play our best. So it's frustrating. I could go on. But.
Obviously, the very unique season for you guys, with the changes made late in the year. What do you think about the job that Adelman did, given the circumstances and the possibilities of him having the interim title removed?
Yeah, I think he did a great job, considering everything and just how we had to stay together. The different schemes that we came up with, AG battling through everything, Yoke battling through everything, the bench stepping up. I just thought, all in all, I think guys did just staying with it and keeping a positive attitude and believing in what we can do. Played 14 games, and we came up short on the last one. So, like I said, I'm frustrated and everything, but, there's a lot to take away from the last, 6-7 weeks or so. So, just got to keep my head, stay positive, and look forward to the next couple of months of taking some rest and then getting back to it. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll be fine.
What do you think about what AG was able to give you guys today?
He gave us more than I think we all could ask for. I played through a grade 1 calf strain last year, and he played through a grade 2 hamstring. So, a hamstring is no joke. I could see him limping out there, and we went zone a little more just to be able to have him out there. And, we had a lot going on, but his toughness, his mental toughness, to be able to play through that and give us what he did and stick to it, I think it was a lot. It was a lot for him to handle, and, he did a great job. So shout out to AG for just battling and being present today.
Jamal, 2 things. First, that just from where the season was, is there any pride with with what you guys have been able to accomplish from the point you were at, where people are losing their jobs, to take a team like this to 7, or is it kind of just more the frustration in the moment, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, like I just said, a lot to take away from the last 6-7 weeks. We stayed with it. We had to, figure it out. Call some audibles, but like I said, we had a long journey just to get to this point. I'm proud of the belief that we had, the positivity that we had. The guys staying together. Guys were more vocal. Even guys that weren't playing, they were more vocal. So a lot of good takeaways, but came up short tonight, and that's the most frustrating part.
And then 2 years removed from the championship, just what is your confidence that this core group can still win another title?
100%. Just came up short tonight. Get back in the gym and get back to it for next year.
Jamal, after obviously a 7-game series with a team that a lot of people consider one of the best teams that have been assembled in recent memory, what can you just say about the outlook of that team and the depth and some of the issues that they might have caused you, or you guys as a collective with their depth and everything? Just what is your biggest takeaway about that team across the hall from us?
Young, active. To be honest, playing 7 games against them, I remember just playing AAU. It was like an AAU tournament out there. Everybody's young, athletic, flying around, We're playing half-court trap. Like everybody's flying in for rebounds. Fast breaks are going up, back and forth. So that's the most thing I can remind of. It's a young, talented group that has a lot to offer, and I think their best quality is just defensively. How physical are. Obviously they get away with a lot, but it leads into how they play in that crate. So they have a lot of potential for sure.
Jamal, I know you just said you believe in this core, but given that you had a change in the head coach, you change in the GM, is this offseason feel different? Like there might be changes more than in the past where it was pretty easy to say, let's run it back because you're coming off a championship? Is there a thought that there might be more changes this offseason to either the core or this roster as you try to get to a championship?
I just focus on what I can do out there. I look at the shots that I had, the great looks that I had, and how I can help this team win. That's above what my pay grade. I just do what I have to do out there and focus on that. On that, it's a question for another person.
Jamal, can you speak on how difficult it is to get through the grueling 82-game regular season and a postseason while remaining healthy, and how much pride this group takes in playing for each other despite dealing with nagging injuries?
Yeah, I mean, everybody was kind of going through something leading up today, but, we had plenty of chances. We fought to get to this point. We believe we could do it. Sometimes it doesn't go your way, and the other team had a better night tonight. Tonight was their night. But we even when people doubted us, we bounced back and showed them what we were capable of. And then when they continued to doubt us, we did it again. You know what I'm saying? So I'm proud of the group, man. I'm proud of what we were able to accomplish, everything we've battled through, everybody individually. So there's lots, like I said, a lot to take away, but we came up short. Appreciate it.
Joker, I know it just happened. You're still processing, but what are some of your early takeaways from this game and this series as a whole for you guys?
I mean, this game was basically similar to second game. We turned the ball over. We didn't make enough shots. They were aggressive. They were running in transition. They were attacking us back. They were playing on our heels. They were attacking the offensive glass. They were making shots. Two same officials as the second game. So it's kind of similar to the second game.
Nicole, do you leave this series feeling like you guys are still close to being able to win another championship, or what are your thoughts after 2 Game 7s and I know you dealt with health issues, not you, but Aaron and Michael. Do you feel like this team could still win a championship as it's put together now?
I mean, we didn't, so obviously we can't. If we could, we will win it. So I don't believe in those if stuff. So we had the opportunity, we didn't win it. So I think we can't.
Your impressions and your appreciation for what Aaron Gordon did today to get on the court for you guys.
Yes. I mean, definitely playing with that injury. I mean, I told him to not play. You can injure yourself even worse. You can see that he was struggling a little bit. Hard to move and this and that. So, but he's a lion. He's a lion. He went out there and fight with us, and we can just appreciate that.
Nikola, what can you coming into this series, obviously a big, storyline in that was, the matchup between you and, SGA. And, you guys being two of the top MVP candidates this year. After a 7-game series with him, what would you just say about the respect you might have earned for him, or just your approach and, what you think about, Shea and the season that he's had,
I mean, it's amazing. We played, so how many? 4 and 7 games, so 11 times we played this season. Actually, I think did we play preseason too one time? So we played like a lot of times, we saw him a lot of times, and he's a special player, his shot selection, his shots capability of making his own shot separation, playing in his rhythm, he was like always stealing the balls, always blocking shots, he's like a little I don't know how to say, like a little punter out there. He was always there, so he's a special player.
Obviously, David Adelman was put in a very unique situation with a few games left. About the job that he did since moving over to head coach, and the potential for him to be in that role on a permanent basis.
I mean, it's really, like you said, it's a tough spot to be. You have he had three games to change something, and I think he changed the energy. I think the guys were woken up a little bit. The guys had more energy. He made us believe in something, and we played good. We played a 7-game series with probably the best team in NBA, and we had opportunity, we had chances. So I think he did a really good job.
And as far as the future goes for him, your
I'm not the guy to add. I mean, it's above my pay grade.
Nikola, the Thunder, they tried to make a point to wear you guys down with their depth throughout this series. You guys were obviously playing a shorter rotation for most of it. Maybe this is above your pay grade too, but as far as depth, what do you sort of think this team needs most going forward?
Like you said, it's about my. But yes, we definitely need probably. I think we played so long for such a way, and it's hard for the guys to step up and especially against two really good teams, Clippers and OKC. We cannot ask for somebody who didn't play maybe 20, 30 games to jump in and be good and expect him to be good. But Julian step up, he was good. Peyton, he was in a rotation, but he had some good minutes too. So definitely, seems like the teams that has a longer rotation, longer bench, it's the one who are winning. Indiana was the name, OKC, so Minnesota.
Nikola, on the flip side of that, you talk about OKC's depth and how deep they are, and obviously they're one of the historic defenses that we've seen. Going against them in a 7-game series, how would you say now you assess them, and before the series, and what has been your biggest takeaway against going against the deep group of guys like that can defend?
I mean, it's versatility. It's they can put a lot of guys on a lot of good defenders, on a lot of good offensive players, and still have. They are so aggressive. They are so handsy. Even when you go by them, Chet or Isaiah is there. Their attacking passing lane is really good. They are into the ball. I like to say their hand is always on the ball, always like follow the ball, and it's really hard to make a straight pass. It's even when you pass the ball, it's not on the shooting pocket, and maybe that's why the reason it's they're always contesting the shots, they always boxing out. They're well taught, they're well coached team, and that's why they're doing this what they're doing.
Nikola, what are you most proud of in terms of what this team was able to accomplish this season, and then what are you most proud of individually that you were able to accomplish?
As a team, I think it was probably playoffs. I think everybody, even in the first round, they thought the Clippers going to beat us, and we found a way to win. Like I said, we always find a way. Except tonight, we found a way to win a game. We found a way to win a series, and today maybe was not the case. But in season, in global, I think that was the maybe description of this team. Like we always find a way, and that's why I'm proud of it. Individually, I don't know. It was a good season. It was I stayed healthy. I'm really thankful for that. I put a lot of effort in it, so I'm I'm thankful, but I know like what's my routine and what I need to do. So what I'm doing, and it seems it's working well for me.
How will this offseason be different for you? Playing in the Olympics clearly didn't bother you too much in terms of a production standpoint this season. How will this offseason be different?
I think Olympics make me even better. Playing with a country, playing with different rules, but it's not really different. Playing with different players, I think it made me even better. I think I need to decide. There is a EuroBasket, the European Championship. I need to decide that. I need to talk with the coaches and with some of the main players. Let's say like that, and we will see. But from now, like next couple of days, there's going to be a lot of beer probably.
Thank you, Coach.
Aaron, can you just take us through what the last 48 hours were like for you in terms of deciding if you would play, when you would play, what the rehab process was like, all of that?
Well, I was pretty sure I was going to play. Yeah. It's just been recovery, basically 36 hours, 48 hours of recovery, everything that I could possibly do. Hot, cold, contrast, massage, hyperbaric, everything that I could possibly do, so just so I could be out there and fight for my team.
How much did you feel it when you were out there fighting for your team?
Not much. I just wish I would have played better.
Aaron, it's early because it's just ended, but how do you look at this run and the idea that you had a coaching change, the GM with 3 games left, you were underdogs against the Clippers and win in 7 and take what most people think is the best team in the league to 7. So is it disappointment or is it, some pride over how you guys were able to kind of recover from the way the season ended?
Obviously, there's mixed emotions there, but I'm proud of my guys. I'm proud of our team. I'm proud of our organization. And of our squad. I think we fought very hard, gave ourselves a chance to beat the number 1 seed. I'm proud of us.
Aaron, kind of building on that, where's just the confidence that this core kind of is currently constructed can achieve what you guys are out to achieve the next couple of years?
Absolutely. Confidence doesn't waver. A couple of plays here or there could have changed the series. Confidence doesn't waver. I have full confidence in everybody in that locker room that we can do what we need to do and get it done.
Aaron, what would you say, obviously facing off against a 7-game series with a team like that, historically one of the best defenses that we've seen in recent memory, what would you say has been your biggest takeaway, playing against them and some of the things that they do that kind of make things, tough to navigate through?
They got a squad. Very interchangeable. They got a lot of pesky defenders, and they're well coached.
Aaron, you played for Coach Adelman for the last 17 games. What are your impressions, and how did you like playing for him?
Yeah, I love DA. I hope he's here next year. I hope he's our coach. I hope he gets an entire training camp, and a whole off season and a whole training camp to figure out his philosophy. DA in Orlando, we have DA here. DA is great. He was excellent for us, and I hope that he's here next year.
Aaron, what's I don't want to say changes, but what do you guys need to do in order to get back to the top of the mountain?
Well, I think in this game specifically, personally, I think I was more focused on the refs than I was on the actual game. And so I think just narrowing our focus to what needs to be done and what needs to be accomplished. Health is a lot, I would really, really appreciate it if there were a couple of days in between games in the playoffs instead of every other day, regardless if you go 7 games. I understand if you do your work early and you get first seed, then you can have some time off. But I think the days in between games, not just off day and a travel day, but a travel day and a recovery day, just two days. I think the product of the game would be a lot better. I think there'd be just a better product on the floor, just to give all these professional athletes just one more day of rest, and you would see a higher level of basketball, probably less blowouts.
Aaron, why'd you say yes? Like, what was the determining factor, and what did you fight through today?
Oh, I never said no. There was never a doubt in my mind that I wasn't going to play today. The only thing that made me doubt playing was the MRI. The MRI told me something worse than what I was feeling.
And I know you and Michael are close. How have you guys leaned on each other this season? And obviously he's dealt with a lot of he could use those extra days as well.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. I think everybody could. You saw it around the league, like Steph with the hamstring. You know what I mean? JT, man, big respect to Jason Tatum, man. I hope he gets better quick. There's guys like Dame. There's guys all around the league that are just like, suffering just like fatigue-based injuries because the games are so closely stacked together. It would just be nice for just 1 or 2 more rest days throughout the offseason or throughout the postseason, just so we can come back fresh and compete. Because a lot of the times it's the team that's most healthy, you know. So it's not even the best team. It's the team that's most healthy. And I think what I try to talk to MPJ about is just rest your mind, rest your body, relax, and then when it's time to get back to training, refocus and narrow your focus and understand what the goal is.
When you saw the MRI, how much concern did you have about making the injury worse and knowing what that might mean?
Obviously, I knew the risks. You know, unfortunately, injuries are part of the game, so I knew the risks. But I wanted to be out there for my team.
And then, you know, there were times like, obviously, you couldn't look like you just couldn't get in that gear that you usually can.
Yeah.
And, you know, how did you feel like you were limited today?
I couldn't sprint. That was tough. But, I was trying to play a real old man game. Anytime I tried to sprint, it was going to just probably be a lot worse. I gave them all.
You were in the room with the fellows. You went through the battles with them all year long. Do you feel like this group got stale before the change? And what did you find in the last month that you'll cherish or you can use going forward as a group?
I mean, the game is great. Obviously, playing is amazing, but really what makes it special is just being around a high-character group of people and the interactions and the memories that you make and share with a great group of guys. The staleness, I'm not entirely sure. You know, it's still fresh. I haven't been able to digest kind of the totality of the season, but just give me a couple of days and maybe I'll be able to answer that. But it's a great group of guys. I'm excited for the future of this organization.
Aaron, by playing today, were you basically playing to get the team through the next round, knowing would you have been able to play in the next round, or was this kind of a one-off to get through this and say, you know what, that was probably it because you're going to have to rest it?
That's probably it, at least for 2 or 3 games into the next round. So I was saying maybe I could get through this one and then rest a little bit and come back later in the next series. Okay.
With everything that you went through last summer leading up to this season, and the improvements that you made on the floor, what are you most proud of that you did this season, and as the team, too, what are you most proud of the team with?
I guess just being able to compete for the first time without my brother by my side. I know he was with me, and I know he's staying with me, but I think just even coming out here and just competing is something in its own right. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.